Welcome into the Digital Audio Lab at Trenton Central High School for another edition of Trenton Today on WBCB. Great to be with you. We have a lot to get to. Sitting in for Mayor Reed Gusciora, we have the Director of Health and Human Services, Diego Minicapelli, and one of the health educators from the HHS department, Memphis Madden, is with us. We will start the show also with Trenton Central High School student, one of our alumni to the show, Montanel, is with us as well. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, so I guess it was like last week, you guys did the production of Aladdin, Montanel. Tell us a little bit about what the crowds were like, what the experience was like with that show. It was a unique dual language production where part was in Spanish, part was in English. How did it all go?
It went great, actually. At first, we didn't really think it would go through because we were still working on the second part for the wedding scene, and then the theater teacher was like, let's just invite our friends and see how it would be. And then we did it for 2 days. We did it on a Thursday and a Friday, and then that very afternoon we had the show, the full thing. And it was fun because even though some of us was having a hard time with the Spanish part, and we managed to get it. Iago, Sage, his mic, he kept on accidentally turning off his mic, and then some people wouldn't hear him, and the theater teacher would just be like, keep the mic on, do not turn it off. We'll turn it off in the back, so keep it on the whole time. But it was real fun because even though I didn't have a role, it was fun to do the dances and stuff. So yeah.
What was the crowd like there?
Oh, it was amazing. It was most of our parents, and it was screaming the whole time.
I mean, Trenton supports Trenton, whether it's high school basketball or the dual language production of Aladdin. That's one of the great things. So I'm glad you guys got all the screaming and yelling and applause and all. Today on the show, sitting in for the mayor, we've got the Director of Health and Human Services. So Montanel, I want you to tell us what you think the Department of Health and Human Services does in the city of Trenton. I have to admit, I don't know necessarily.
I don't know either.
So we'll ask Diego in just a little bit.
All right, good.
I don't really know exactly. I don't really search up stuff about health that much.
I mean, one thing that when we were going through the whole pandemic thing, I'm guessing HHS was on the front line of that situation. But Diego, tell us
Absolutely.
What types of things does the Department of Health and Human Services provide for the city of Trenton?
Absolutely. Thank you for having us this morning here.
Great to have you with us. Thank you.
The Department of Health and Human Services provides or monitors the health of Trenton residents, which is very important. Within the department, we have 11 subunits, and those subunits provide all of the services for our residents. We have, for example, vital statistics. That office will give you, for example, your birth certificate and anything related to, birth and death and things like that.
Gotcha.
And that is something that we have to have all of the time. We also have the unit of health promotions, which Memphis here works. She's a health promoter. And then we just promote health, and we have programs and activities all of the time.
So Memphis, tell us a bit about health promotion. Is that giving presentations to the schools and updating them on the latest?
It's a few different things. So it is presentations. So oftentimes we do focus on our seniors to make sure that they know how to keep themselves healthy and well. So focusing on falls prevention, vaccines that are important for their age group.
Right.
Last week we were at the high school. We did a presentation about the entirety of Health and Human Services, what we do, how we got there. So that was fun to do with the students. We also do a lot of outreach events. So we host events in the city. Typically we do a lot during the summertime and the spring, catch people as we're outside in the parks. And we also participate in different events in the city as well. So this afternoon, actually, we're going to Monument Intermediate School to participate in their health fair. And it's really about networking. It's about going out into the community, talking, giving tips, advice, and just making sure people know how to live healthy.
So how did you get involved in that type of endeavor, like a health and human services background, Diego? Sometimes we talk about the education, the path that students might want to think about when considering a career in health and human services or a career kind of in healthcare in general?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you a little bit about my story. I'm an immigrant to the United States. I came here in 1993. I did my whole high school. I did the high school in public school in Perth Amboy. After that, I went to Rutgers University. I got my bachelor's in biology and minor in chemistry. And after that, I went to get my medical degree, but I did it outside of the country. And then after that, I came back here, and then I did a 7-year postdoctoral fellowship at Rutgers Robert Johnson Medical School. So I wanted to have medical background, but I also wanted to do a little bit of scientific background, and that's what I did at Rutgers. And then after my postdoctoral fellowship, I did some training in clinical research, and that I did it through Harvard University Medical School.
You look back at your experience being in the Perth Amboy Public School, maybe with some language challenges, some social, cultural clashes going on. Does that kind of help you to understand people that are in the Trenton community that maybe come from a different background, speak a different language, and still need those important health and human services that you guys provide?
Absolutely, absolutely. Having that experience actually propelled me to do what I'm doing right now, helping all of the communities, but of course, people that have challenges with language, with culture, and things like that. It is very important, and being conscious about that too. Yes.
So Memphis, how about yourself? How did you get involved in becoming a health educator?
It was not my goal originally. So I am from Trenton. I went to Catholic school out here. When I graduated from high school, I ended up going to Memphis, Tennessee, actually, for college.
But Memphis went to Memphis.
Memphis went to Memphis, yes. And so after I graduated, I took a year off and I worked. And the city of Memphis reminded me so much of home. Like some of the social challenges, I saw a lot of similarities. And so I became really interested in the policy side of things and figuring out, how local laws and local regulations impact how we experience our environment and how does that impact our health in the long run. So I figured all that out as I worked, figured out that was public health. I came back to the East Coast. I went to UPenn in Philly, and I earned my master's in public health and master's in social policy. And little by little, I just made my way back home. And actually, the city of Trenton was the only organization to offer me a job after I graduated. So that's how I ended up with the department.
That's like Trenton for Trenton.
Literally.
Again. So you guys mentioned some events, and Diego, you said you guys wanted to talk about some things you guys have coming up. So
Absolutely.
What is on the calendar for Health and Human Services, and how can those that are listening, checking out the show,
Absolutely.
maybe check out those events as well?
Absolutely. I just want to tell you something regarding lead. Lead, it is a heavy metal and influences, the nervous system. So it's very important for us to let mom, dad know that it will influence their child, in development. So we do have put together some events that we can disseminate the information, and at the same time they can get testing. Testing is important, so we can see the levels and maybe get a treatment for it, so it doesn't hurt in any way the nervous system of that developing child. The events are coming up. Memphis has put it together for the spring and summer, so she can give you more information regarding that.
And Memphis, this is the topic that we've discussed a number of times on Trenton today, the importance of getting testing, some of the industrial issues that got that whole thing discovered in Trenton. But right now it is important for parents. And is the testing like a simple blood test?
It can depend. So there are two ways that you can test. The form that we offer when we do our events is a simple finger prick, similar to like a prick for diabetes reading. So then we take the blood sample, we'll send it off to a lab. Once we get the results, we reach back out to the parents. Sometimes if that level is higher than what we want to see, or if it's at a level that the state requires us to intervene a little more, we'll have to send that child back to like a lab or something, and they take a blood draw, and that gets processed. So there's two different ways.
Gotcha. Is there a kind of like an assessment? Because I almost think it's there's a cognitive element to that. I guess it's all you can find it in the blood, but I would think there would be some questions that also might spark some understanding or some awareness that maybe something is going on. I don't know if parents can, I don't know, create a baseline with their kids and then see if there's any change from that. That seems a little, I don't know, little far-fetched.
And that's
But-
that's the challenging thing with lead too, because you can be lead poisoned but show no symptoms, or the symptoms can show up at a later time.
Wow.
So at the state level, that's why we do always push for testing twice before 3. So we want kids tested at 12 months and again at 24 months. And we're also working with some local advocates to push testing for preschool and kindergarten registration. So we're checking there as well. But if there's anything parents want to look out for, it's any like behavioral challenges that might not seem normal, any kind of like mouthing behaviors. Lead has a very sweet taste to it. So for any kids that eat on things like wood chips or lick walls or something like that, it's because they're searching for that taste.
And are some residences more more concerning because the paint is older, or like if you have paint that is more recent, there's probably not lead stuff in that, right?
Right. So we're really focused on the older houses, because we know in the city of Trenton, a lot of our houses they've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And so lead paint used to be a sign of high status. So a lot of our houses, unfortunately have that. But for newer developments, we don't necessarily have the same worry. And for individuals living in newer developments, then we want to look at, what's in your environment, what tools you're using, what toys you play with, what cookware you use, because those are also sources of lead.
All right, so lead testing, something that people should be aware of. That getting tested twice before 3, is that something that is kind of a universal thing that parents should just, whether or not they're in Trenton or in New York or wherever, you probably should get your kid looked at a couple of times just to
Yes.
make sure.
Yep. So testing twice before 3 is the State of Department of Health campaign. So across the state.
Is that something that pediatricians do without being asked to do, or is that something that, again, parents should advocate for, make sure that testing is happening?
Yeah, I would definitely suggest parents advocate always.
But
Yeah.
pediatricians are always
And they do.
also, yes, they always suggest to do this
Gotcha.
type of testing. Definitely. Now, Memphis mentioned something very important, and this is part of our why the events are very important, because we have a set of different cookware and toys. Lead is also put into this cookware to make it more shiny, or the colors to stand up more. And sometimes people that from other cultures, from other countries, they bring in this cookware that they're used to using. However, they have a lot of lead, and that seeps into the food. And so we have a machine here that we can show them how high of the amount of lead that they have, so they stop using it. Sometimes it's also in makeup.
Makeup and jewelry and nail polish,
Yes.
Now,
all
are-
sorts of things.
Are most of those products coming from overseas?
Absolutely, yes. So those products have not gone through the FDA requirement, and so that's why we're trying to, educate not to use that type of product. Definitely.
We have so much to get to on the show. We have a bunch of student athletes sitting behind us from the newly formed flag football team. Also, some female wrestling we'll be talking about. And Montanel, I'm wondering if you have any idea of how old the paint is in your house, because that's I don't know, it seems like I don't know. That's a tricky question to answer.
I'll be honest, in our old house, we did have like some paint problems. My little sister, she like would bite the paint. And then there was like this one time we went to the hospital with her, and then it was like a whole emergency. They came to check, clean the house. They had to tell the owner to like change the paint again, because I don't exactly know what happened, because I wasn't there at that time, but my mom did call me about it, and she told me. So now that we move and our house is like brand new, so I don't think there's like lead in the paint, but my mom doesn't allow like nobody to like either touch the wall or even like try to bite it, because my little brother, he has a habit of biting, so we have to make sure to like hide every corner.
After going through that experience, she's
Yeah.
like, "Nah, I'm not doing that again."
Yeah.
There is a mandate since 1978 not to use lead in paints and things like that. So after 1978, the usage of lead in painting for house, it was taken out from the industry.
So Diego, do you have a baseball team? It's opening day today. You
Not really, but
Memphis, are you
I'm
checking
a
out any
Philly-
games?
Philly fan all
Nice.
around, so going with the Phillies.
You know, one of the other cool things that's happening in the city of Trenton, the Thunder, with major renovations right now to the Trenton Thunder ballpark. In this first year, the renovations are going to include a lot of locker room stuff. The clubhouses are going to get expanded. There's going to be a specific locker room that will be for any female athletes now at the Trenton Thunder ballpark. And then a year from now, they're going to have like an entertainment venue that will overlook the Delaware. So great things happening with Trenton Thunder. They're back in June with baseball games, and today opening day for Major League Baseball. All right, we're going to step aside, say goodbye to Montanel so we can bring in some of the new flag football players here as we continue with Trenton today, as we're joined by the Director of Health and Human Services, Diego Manicapelli. Back in just a bit, here with more here on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margarita.
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you, because your opinion does matter.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones Radio Experience, right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine
Welcome back to Trenton Today on WBCB alongside Health and Human Services Director Diego Manicapelli. We're talking all things Trenton and talking about high school athletics here at Trenton Central High School. We got Coach Robert Pernetti joining us.
How you doing?
Coach, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
All right, we got flag football and girls wrestling to talk about.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about girls wrestling first. But both those sports seem like they're relatively new. How did you get involved with these activities? And is this the first year for flag football? Second year, third year for wrestling?
No, for wrestling. Wrestling's been around like 5-6 years now. Wow. And we've been fortunate enough to get enough girls to be in it from when it started. And we've had pretty good success with our female program. Flag football, some schools in Jersey have had it for the last couple years. In this area, I know Ewing started a team last year. This year, we started a team. I think Thrive Academy also has a team in the Mercer County area. But this year, it's becoming a lot bigger. We're in the South Jersey or the West Jersey Football Conference, and they were saying how, they had 8 to 10 new teams this year. So we're in a league with 30-something teams.
All right, we're going to talk flag football in just a little bit. We will be streaming the game on April the 2nd on the WBCB Sports Network as the Trenton Central High School flag football team takes on Ewing. Looking forward to that. And tell us who you brought with you today to talk about the girls wrestling program at Trenton Central High School.
Hey, today we have 2 of our state qualifiers and 1 state place winner. We have Noelle Mar. She was our 126 wrestler. She qualified for the first time as a junior to the state tournament. And we have Princess Storm, who's a 3-time qualifier, 3-time placer. Freshman year took 5th, last year took 3rd, and this year was the state runner-up in the state finals, took 2nd.
Well, thank you guys for being with us. Noelle, tell us what got you going in girls wrestling. Were you involved in other athletics before you started doing wrestling?
Actually, what's funny is I was interested in doing basketball before I joined wrestling. But what got me into wrestling really was my family. It's always been in my family. My brother and my sister actually wrestled for Pernetti when they were here in Trenton High. And I just feel, that I'm glad that I was able to continue that and be able to wrestle for Trenton High as well. So it was really just like the background with my family that got me into wrestling.
How about you, Princess Storm? What got you going? Were you doing other athletics before being a wrestler?
Before I wrestled, I did soccer for like 2 years, and I did karate for a year. I got into wrestling because I thought it was WWE, and then apparently it wasn't.
Not quite.
Yeah, no, not quite at all. And then I just stuck with the program, and
So you played soccer, now a wrestler.
yeah.
Big difference when it comes to a team sport and a sport like wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very individual element to it, but also a team element. Can you talk about how you guys perform as individuals on the mat, but then also kind of collectively as a team?
Wrestling is an individual sport, but I feel like being a team is like what most excites me about wrestling, because with the team wins, it's like I'm kind of used to winning, so when my team wins, is like makes me more happy. Like it makes me more excited to see other people thrive.
You guys both state qualifiers. Noelle, did you start winning right away? Did you have to take your lumps initially? I mean, sometimes people who are just naturals, they start winning right away.
I was definitely not a natural winner. Actually, my sophomore year wrestling, which was last year, I didn't do as good as I did this year. And I genuinely think it was the difference in the support system. I feel like in Trenton, I definitely had a better support system, better coaching, and they definitely helped me get much better than I was last year. And I say it because it's honestly true. I feel like I was being paid attention to, my mistakes were corrected, and, this year I definitely did so much better than I did last year. I did take, my tough losses this year, but I also got some big wins, and definitely had to work my way up there.
And lifting up the coaches there, that's pretty awesome.
She's grown up in our room. I mean, like her brother, sister, like that's family. I've known her since she was a little girl. I've known Princess since 4th, 5th grade when our youth program really started to become about. And it's the biggest thing is this is a family. Like we have lineages that have wrestled for me. We have, cousins, everything that we've known these kids for a while, and when they leave, we still, her brother's my assistant coach now. So, and her sister's in there helping out with the girls program as well. So it's always been a family.
So, Coach, do you feel a different vibe, a different energy when it comes to the girls wrestling team compared to the boys wrestling team, or is there little difference or little distinction?
Yes and no. 1 year, both teams are going to be really good, and that's going to be when I know it's done well. Our boys team is rebuilding, and they've improved in a rebuilding year, and there's a lot of good potential there. The girls team has kind of been the lead way of girls wrestling in Mercer County for since it started, and it's good to see some of the other schools like Hamilton West and Steiner and Lawrence all getting their numbers up as well. It's awesome when the boys win. Her brother's years, we've had a lot of success on the boys' side. The last couple years, we've had a lot of success on the girls' side. It's really cool seeing the girls do it and the passion they put into it, because it wasn't the popular thing to do, right? It wasn't the sport that many girls were getting into, and now it's almost like the first couple years were to prove that they belong, and now it's just there's a term, it's called wrestler. It's not boy wrestler, it's not girl wrestler, it's wrestler. When you earn that term, you can walk a little differently around the hallways, and because I always tell them, nobody does what we do in the wrestling room, right? There's 60 kids start, 80 kids start, maybe 50 finish, and so even if you're not a starter, you never wrestled a match all year, you come every day, blood, sweat, and tears, leave every day and come back the next day, you earn that term.
Yeah, I was a very bad high school wrestler.
But you were still a wrestler.
I put that time in,
Yep,
and the
yep.
blood
You
and
take
the
your
sweat
lumps.
and the tears and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Princess Storm, when you look at this season, do you have certain goals or things that you're looking to accomplish?
This season coming up?
Yeah.
She got one goal.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing we're thinking of.
My goal is to become a state champion, because every year since my freshman year, I improved, have gone up. Well, my senior year, I'm ready to become a state champion.
Well, let's manifest that into being. I want to thank you guys both for joining us. Now, you guys are wrestlers, but also flag football players?
She is.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk flag football a little
Noelle
bit,
will
bring
join
in
next
some
year.
other flag football athletes, but what's that experience like? Kind of a new thing. We're looking forward to streaming this game on April the 2nd. But had you played football before? Is like in your background?
I haven't played football before. It's very new. It's kind of like when my coach, he shows us the plays. It's kind of different, like hard to read it a little bit, but it got easier over time because we have to go by like colors and stuff. But I like that Trenton is having a flag football team, because a lot of people come from different sports, because a lot of people play winter sports, so like they're kind of tough, so like they just have something to go to during the spring. So I feel like flag football is good to like come to the school.
It's like fun.
Yeah.
Having a good time out there. All right, well, before we step aside, Diego just asking Princess about goals when it comes to wrestling. When you look at HHS and the work that you guys do in the city of Trenton, are there any specific goals or things that you guys, metrics that you look at that you're trying to improve on from last year? Or, I mean, even as far as the lead testing, there must be some goals or metrics that you guys have put out there looking at internally.
Absolutely, we do have goals, and those goals are to reach to the community more, to enhance our services, and to do so, we have to work with organizations within the city that are going to help us to reach more. The lead testing is very, very important for us. We have to reach to more families, to more communities. We do have challenges because some of these communities, they don't speak English, so we need to reach out to them. We do have challenges with the animal shelter too, right? We have an overcrowded animal shelter that we need to make sure that we provide services for the dogs and for the community, but at the same time, we need to find homes for them, so we need the help of the community. And so, yes, we do have a lot of goals, but it takes time, effort. But the main thing that I ask everybody, how do we move forward? Well, it is through education, reaching out to the new generations, like the ladies that are here, right? And that's why we were here last week, giving a presentation. Education is the key, so we can move forward.
Even hanging out with us here on Trenton today.
Absolutely. Even though I don't even know what flag football is, but I'm here, yes, definitely. And I have to promote the health and human services because that's something important. At the beginning, your guest before, she didn't know what health and human services is all about. But this is why we're here. We can promote that and then just move forward with it.
All right, well, we're going to step aside and return in just a little bit. Thanks to Noelle and Princess Storm for joining us here on the show. Coach, stick around for a little bit. We'll bring in some of your flag football players. Want to talk strategy maybe? If you guys do cover two or if it's, I don't know.
Just cover.
All right, well, we're going to come back. More Trenton Today here on WBCB in just a bit.
Network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, Advanced Medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margaritaville.
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Back to Trenton Today on WBCB alongside Health and Human Services Director Dr. Diego Manicapelli, and we're joined now by some of the other Trenton Central High School student athletes, and Coach Pernetti still hanging out with us. We want to talk some flag football, but first, Diego, how about vaccinations? It was such a big thing around the pandemic. I know flu shots are still important each year. I think we're still maybe in the flu season officially. What is the status of vaccinations in the city of Trenton, and how can Trenton residents get hooked up with some of the medicines that they need to help keep them well?
Sure. Absolutely. We promote vaccinations because they're very important to prevent diseases, right? For
Sure.
COVID-19, we still have, you have to get a booster, and this can be done through your primary doctor or through pharmacies. We're promoting on that. The city of Trenton is also trying to get vaccines so we can give it to our residents. We're trying to work on that. We also work with other organizations that they're also promoting vaccinations, such as Henry J. Austin and Capital Health. And so it is important. It is important to reach out to the community, and make sure that they vaccinate. Of course, children, the elderly, and anybody that needs it.
I mean, just to circle back to some of the discussions you were having around lead paint, certainly for young people, vaccinations are
Essential.
critically important. So clinics and other opportunities to get those to the residents of Trenton. Appreciate Dr. Manicapelli for being with us here, talking about Health and Human Services. And we're jumping back and forth to Health and Human Services stuff and athletics at Trenton Central High School. And we've got some flag football players now joining us. Coach Pernetti, what are some of the specifics when it comes to flag football? How many players are on each side? How does it differ from regular football?
Well, biggest thing is non-contact. And depending on what league you're in, there's 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7. The leagues that we play in are 7-on-7. So you have 7 offense versus 7 defense. The field is a little bit shorter. It's 100 yards in length, but 10 of that on each end are the end zones.
Right.
And then you have 3 20-yard increments in the middle, which all are your first down markers. You get 4 downs to advance it. Biggest thing is being able to work together, right? And we're really, really brand new to this, but I think we have a great group of girls that have all played together in one sport or another, so we have a little bit of that chemistry already, and just the basics, pulling flags and playing good defense, and then seeing what happens as the offense starts to gain.
We got Aviana and Sarah Lise with us. So, Aviana, what role do you play on the football field? Do you have a specific position that you gravitate towards?
Right now, I'm on defense. I'm runner back.
So we're like I said, we're brand new, but Aviana plays defense, so she's either going to rush or play somewhere in the middle. As of now, she's a pretty good athlete, so we have a lot of really good athletes. So we just got to find where they go, where they fit.
New, so we still got to learn our positions and stuff.
They know what color where to stand on the field
that's
and
all
what
we
their
know
job
right now
is.
colors
The
and
terminology
routes.
we're still learning.
Yeah.
I mean, how many practices have you guys had, Sarah Lise? You know,
About like 3, 4.
wow.
After
Yeah,
tryouts.
after
So we
tryouts.
did about a week of tryouts, and then there was a few weather came into play a couple times, and then we've had like 3 or 4, solid practices in addition to the drills and everything.
All right, football, the most popular sport in America. Are you guys like NFL fans? Were you watching the game before you started to play flag? That's for either of y'all.
Not really. It's like whoever wins is my team.
I watch like Super Bowls, of course, more for like the halftime, but I've never really actually sat and watched the whole football game.
All right, now you're sinking your teeth into this game. Do you see yourselves becoming NFL fans down the road and being fans of football more because you get to kind of feel it?
Yeah, most likely. We get to, experience football a little bit, thanks to the Eagles.
All right, so April 2nd, we're going to stream one of your flag football games on WBCB. I would think, Coach, that's got to be one of the early games on the schedule.
It's that next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, our first game is actually today at home against Pennsauken. So we're excited for that, and we'll see how that goes. And next week, it's going to be pretty neat to have the game being broadcasted and it being against, another local team almost, I guess, geographically, us Thrive and Ewing can all be rivals because we're the only teams in this area. Most of the other teams are in South Jersey, Burlington County. But, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
So how has the process been? I mean, I guess you guys still getting used to everything, but working together as a team, I'm sure you see right away that everyone has to do their job. I think that was Bill Belichick, who was a great coach of the Patriots, said, do your job. And if everybody does their thing, everything will work out.
Exactly.
So are you guys starting to see that come into play?
Yeah, most definitely. We don't have no problem with working as a team. It's just the chemistry that got us to get there, for real. Because it's still a new group of girls and stuff coming from different sports. So the group that played basketball together, cheerlead together, wrestle together, we still have to combine our chemistry that we have with, one another. So.
Now, are you also a basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sarah Lee, you cheerleader?
Yeah.
So you guys like to stay active. Is that part of what motivated you to? I mean, you got to be engaged in order to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's always the message that I tried to give to my daughter. Busy people seem to get more done and have more success. So that motivated you, Sarah Lee?
Yes, I did softball my freshman year, and I didn't do it last year. Not doing a sport during spring, I didn't really like it. So I wanted to find something else that I was into to be able to keep me busy during the spring.
Kind of a cool opportunity here, Aviana, that nobody has experience with this. So like other sports, right, like softball, sometimes you got these student athletes that have been in all these feeder programs and they're going to try to go to a Division I school, and then other students who have never played the sport ever. Here, at least everybody's starting from the same starting point, kind of learning it and figuring it all out together.
It's a process. It's all a process.
All right, well, we're going to see how this process unfolds
We gotta
on
trust the
April the
process.
2nd. We're going to trust the process and hope the Tornadoes can get past the Blue Devils on April the 2nd. But we'll see. Still seems like it's a work in progress. Talking about trusting the process.
It's all good. The less people that worry about us, the better. We like to sit in the background, and then
Like
when we
sleepers.
show up, exactly. Worry about other teams, let us do our thing, and then we'll see what happens. We have a bunch of really good athletes. Like you said, it's the more time we're together, the better we're going to be.
Now, are you finding ways where you can take some of your basketball background and apply it to football?
Yeah, I'm known, like, in basketball, I was known for my aggressiveness. So, like, I can really use that in football.
Right.
I'm very aggressive.
And how about on defense? Coach was saying pulling flags and making stops. How has that been coming along? Like, do you play linebacker, or are you a cornerback? Somebody along the line? Are those positions part of flag football?
Yeah, so depending on, I guess, the formation you run, it's usually one or two defensive ends, which are up front rushing the quarterback. You have two corners outside. Anybody in the middle can be considered a linebacker if they're deep, some sort of safety. Same thing, mix between man and zone. The thought process behind all of this was the basketball girls are probably good on playing defense and staying with somebody because the high's known for running man defense.
Right.
And the wrestlers are good at getting a low center of gravity, squaring up hips, extending arms. Now just don't run through the person, just pull the flags, right? And surprisingly, we had a lot of cheerleaders come out and offered a lot of athleticism. So those girls were kind of looking at Swiss Army knives. They could play offense, they could play defense. She plays quarterback a little bit. Like wherever we need help, it's a group effort.
Yeah, maybe people don't realize how much athleticism it takes to be a cheerleader.
That's why I wanted her to be here today. Just to show, like, we have three different, athletic programs that are all coming together. It only brings more unity to the school. People want to root for that. It's cool being a part of the first of something.
All right, well, we're going to step aside. Got more high school athletics to talk about on Trenton today. We're hanging out with Dr. Diego from Health and Human Services, and we will return here to Trenton Central High School in just a moment.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you. in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margaritaville.
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Welcome back to Trenton Central High School. It's Trenton Today on WBCB, brought to you by Haldeman Ford and Capital Health. And we're alongside Health and Human Services Director Dr. Diego, a couple of flag football players, Coach Pernetti hanging out with us, having a great show. Dr. Diego, one of the things that we've talked about on the show before is the Trenton Animal Shelter. And Mayor Gusciora trying to spread the word about the opportunity for adoptable pets in Trenton and the overcrowding of that shelter and trying to do something with the facilities and all of that stuff. But that falls into the Health and Human Services, one of those divisions that you talked about?
Absolutely. The Trenton Animal Shelter it falls into the Department of Health and Human Services. The reason, I'm not sure, but...
well, it's the health and, I guess
yes.
It's not human services, but it's pet-related services.
Right. So right now we do have an issue with the animal shelter, which we are extremely overcrowded. And so we are trying to make sure that we control the population of dogs inside of the shelter. And by doing so, we are going into the extreme right now. We have to timestamp those dogs in order to control the population. And what we need right now, it is for the community to promote those dogs so they can find a home and so they can get out of the system. In that way, they make room for other dogs, and also it is dangerous for the staff that we have. Having 64 in a shelter that can only hold 20, it creates a challenge. It creates a lot of things for us that it is challenging, of course. And so we do need the community to help us. One, to have, to take care of the animals, making sure that they are safe, they have a safe place, that they eat and they take them to the vet, and they are responsible with their pets. And another thing, it is that if they're able to spay and neuter their dogs, so there's no more populations of them.
Right.
And so the other thing that we're trying to do, like last week, we're trying to engage the new generations to make sure that they understand how to be responsible with their pets. And that is important. That is something important. But right now, what we need, it is for the community to help us to promote the pets, so the dogs, so we are able to find a place for them. Otherwise, we have to resort to our laws, which, it is hard. It's a hard decision, but we do have to because it is uncontrollable sometimes.
I mean, a huge challenge, but looking maybe for some support on social media networks, on Facebook, on Instagram, for people to share the story of the Trenton Animal Shelter,
Absolutely.
to let people know that there is a severe overcrowding problem and that they could help out with the adoption of a pet. And whether, on a social media platform, word of mouth, however that, whatever shape or form that takes, is something that can help a situation that becomes kind of heartbreaking when you said the time stamping and it's not a no-kill shelter, it's an impound facility. So there's a different set of rules and regulations that are part of all of that. And if we could just get that word out, have those that are with us today help us get the word out. Any of the pet lovers out there, give us a hand, give the Trenton Animal Shelter a hand. We've talked about donations before, and that's important. But really, it's about the facility itself being limited in these significant ways. And whatever you can do to help, to spread the word, to do a pet adoption would be awesome, and help in just a little way. And maybe if everybody gets together, maybe we can make a really big difference. And that's a topic that we've talked about before on the show. Mayor Gusciora hoping to get that situation resolved, but it is very complicated. I think a lot of pet adoptions happened during the pandemic, and then people said, I can't really take care of this animal. So it goes to your point, Dr. Diego, about educating people on how the responsibility, the roles that you need to take on when you are adopting a pet. Well, talking pets and health and human services, and also high school athletics here at Trenton Central High School, talking a little flag football. And we've now got Jamira with us, along with Princess Storm, who's back, part of our wrestling discussion. And Coach Prunetti is hanging out, which is awesome. And how about you, Coach Prunetti? I mean, NFL fan, like you a Birds guy, you a Giants guy?
Nope. I'm the oddball. I'm a Raiders fan.
What?
I got big problems.
How'd that happen?
When I was little, my aunt, I liked Bo Jackson. My cousins, one of my older cousins was a Bo Jackson fan, and I was a big fan. And then my aunt bought me a big pillow with the Raiders logo. I like the pirate and the colors the most. So that's what got me. And then I kind of embraced the Raider culture.
Now, when you break down, you have the strategy for the girls, and you guys are putting the plays together. Are there coaches that you're stealing from, that you're borrowing from?
No, it's not really. Not right now. Like, it's still early. I always throw some ideas around, the coaches in the school that have coached football and other coaches that I know. But it's a little bit of a different game. So we're just kind of seeing how it goes, then we'll make the adjustments. We have a plan. We have an idea of what we want to do and what we want to be good at. So we'll try and implement that plan, and when somebody stops it, we'll make the adjustment.
So, Jamira, are you a football fan prior to becoming a flag football player?
Not really. I mean, I support one team, though, but I'm not a football person.
So I do a little coaching with a high school volleyball team, and sometimes it feels like the guys on the team, they don't have a lot of experience with the sport. And so one of the challenges is just reading the play, figuring out what's coming next. I would think that even after 3 practices, you're starting to pick up what's happening on the field. You're reading everything a little bit more clearly. How is that? How is it going picking up on the game?
It's going good picking up the game for me because I'm more so about defense with any sport that I play. So all I really got to know is what I'm playing at that moment, and that's all. So, like, I play, like, as of right now, I play, like, on the outside, on the corner, like, that's all.
You're out there on the island, as they say. You're all out there, a one-on-one. Do you bring a basketball background to the football field?
Yeah, definitely.
And like Coach was saying, like, that can be an advantage. You play 1v1 defense on basketball. Kind of some similar stuff on the football field?
Yeah, that's all I play is 1v1.
All right, so ready for our stream on April the 2nd, and looking forward to that game. Have you heard anything about the Ewing Blue Devils, Princess Storm?
No, I know some of my friends are on the flag football team in Ewing, but I don't really know that much.
Oh, you got to get like the secret information. We were talking about the social media platforms, and today I wanted to say something about this crazy security breach over the Signal thing. Yeah, it is kind of a social media element where you can get information out there. We can share stuff about the pet shelter, but you don't want your text chain to be stolen by somebody on the Blue Devils or something like that.
They know it's crazy because same thing with the wrestling season, and even I'm sure the basketball team same way. They know more about these other teams than like I think any of the coaches. They know what's being chirped on behind the scenes. There's teams we have rivalries with that I didn't even know we were rivals with because of whatever chirping goes on. It's all nothing's inappropriate or out of line, but it makes it a little fun to have those natural rivalries. Now you got to back it up if you want it to get that way, but they know way more. I'm just trying to get us through practice in the game.
If you want to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
That's it.
Yeah. So as you guys get ready for this season, kind of exciting to have flag football to participate in because it wasn't around before. Is this something that you were looking forward to?
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. Sadly, I'm a senior, so this is my only year for it, like for real. Because I'm definitely going to school for basketball. I'm nothing else. So, yeah.
Well, good luck with your future plans.
Yeah.
We didn't ask any of our guests here what might be next for them, so I'll pose that question to you guys. Do you know where you're going to go to school?
Not yet. Still undecided.
Well, good luck with that decision process and everything. And how about Princess Storm? What are you thinking about for future endeavors? And
I'm most definitely going to school to be a wrestler. I've been looking at some schools for wrestling, but I also want to be a plastic surgeon, so I have to look at schools that have the medical programs.
yeah, well, that's great ambitions. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here today for Trenton today. Before we let Dr. Diego go, I want to slide that microphone over to him real quick. And one of the things I was wondering about today was the city meetings, the council meetings. It's something that we haven't talked about. Most municipalities have those available to people through a video stream. And you were telling me before the show that you can access all of that for the city of Trenton as well.
Absolutely. You can go to the website, TrentonNJ.org, and then there's a link there that you can stream the city council meeting. Definitely.
That's great. It helps you to be on top of what is happening.
Absolutely.
In the city.
You can see the video, but you cannot interact. In order to interact with city council, you have to go to the meeting in person. But it is important for the residents to log in and watch that city meeting so they understand what is going on in the city. Definitely.
I mean, city council should be kind of chill now. I've heard they had some kind of retreat or something like that. So
I do not.
I think they all went away somewhere, and they hopefully are able to get back to the business of the city of Trenton. Big thanks to Coach Prunetti, Dr. Diego for being with us, Director of Health and Human Services, all of the students that joined us, Noelle, Princess Storm, Aviana, Saralise, Jamira, to our technical support guys that we have here for the show. Appreciate it. Mr. Caniglio, Brian O'Neill, our video engineer, Bill Redner, everybody. Thanks so much. And we'll catch you next month. We do it here from Trenton Central High School, talking all things Trenton. Typically, we're joined by the mayor, who has a busy schedule. So sometimes he's not able to make it, but he always sends a great representative from the city government. So thanks to Dr. Diego Manicapelli. All right, we're out of here. Catch you next month back here on BCB for Trenton Today.